have about 400 farmers. We registered some in Kaloleni and a few in Kwale County. And we are also moving forward to Magarini and Malindi North, Kilifi North and Malindi, and the response is good.
In which areas have you identified that there's potential for cassava, and how have you been engaging the farmers so far? How is the uptake?
Myself, I started with about 3 acres to plant the cassava so that it can be like a demonstration farm.
Yes.
So I brought in farmers to see how it is done, the planting procedure of spacing of 1 meter, so that 1 acre it can accommodate 4,000 cuttings. In that process, when a farmer gets 4,000 cuttings from 1 acre,
yes, then
with a good harvest, you have one cutting matured can give you 10 to 15 kg.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Kazum Samuel, and welcome to our Untold Farming segment. Today we are in Kaloleni. Remember that even as our farmers do their work in their farms, there are organizations that take care of these farmers, visit them, see how they can assist these farmers in ensuring that they benefit from their produce. Now, in Kaloleni today, we are here with a guest. Hope he will introduce himself. He has a very good project he's doing with farmers, especially in the cassava sector. Let me welcome our guest. Mzee, labda unaweza anza kwa majina yako. You introduce yourself to our viewers so that they can understand who are you.
Thank you very much. My name is Daniel YAA Kaingu. I'm a resident of Kaloleni Sub County in Kilifi County. I'm running an organization called FAGIO ZETU. FAGIO ZETU started on 2018 as a self-help group which is supporting farmers on coconut products. We started dealing with the FAGIO coconuts and touching roofing makutis. Then later on, we transformed it to a CBO, and on that deal, on the coconut products, we tried to find a market for our coconut farmers, whereby we used to sell our coconut products on local buyers as brokers, which they used to exploit our farmers. But later on, when I came in, I started to give them a good pricing on the brooms, coconut brooms, and the raw coconut. At the same time, we are looking market for their products. It happens that I opened an office in Machakos County, where I do take coconuts and the fagios.
Okay. Tell us about the cassava value chain. Tell us how your organization has come in to assist farmers growing cassava. Tell us about the cassava production in Kaloleni and in the entire region where you have been, and what exactly do you do in the cassava value chain?
Yeah, thank you very much. On the process of meeting my farmers on coconut products, it happens that I met some of the buyers of cassava, and I became interested on that project. And when I got it, I thought it's better I introduce it to my farmers who are in the coconut productions. Now, that was on 2023 November, when I was having a meeting in Chilulu, meeting my groups. So when I got this initiative of cassava farming, yes, I got it, and I found it might be helpful to empower our people, because on this program, the buyer is asking for dry cassava, which he needs the farmers to plant it in big quantity. Then I come in as a buyer, I buy it direct to the farmers, dry it, then from the drying it, I supply to the buyer, where I think they're exporting it. Later on, as I continue on this, the market has become big. I'm now associating myself with the other farmer cassava users as buyers, and recently we landed also a good deal on the cassava. Now on this, I'm buying cassava in big quantities as a raw cassava. I chop it, I dry it, on the sun. When it becomes dry with the 12% water moisture content and 3% dry content, it's good for the buyer. So what I'm trying to do now is to register farmers in big numbers, supply them and help them with the cuttings, because most of our farmers, they are unable to sustain this business. So what we are trying to do, we are also trying to bring in some financial institutions who will come in to help our farmers, so that from there they can now be able to stand at their own. Yeah.
Okay. Now, just give us a scope of this engagement. Like now, in which areas have you identified that there's potential for cassava, and how have you been engaging the farmers so far? How is the uptake?
Yeah, the response is good. I started in Kaloleni Sub County as a piloting, because I started with about 100 acres with farmers, which I registered about 1,000 farmers in my office. I have a data center in the next room where I do register my farmers. Then those who will be ready, I supply them with the cuttings for the start. Then I think later on we might be moving to another stage where we can be getting a service provider who will be clearing their bush, providing them with cassava, provide money for their weeding. Then later on, after we have bought the cassava, they can be able to refund the money to the lender. So right now we have about 400 farmers. We registered some in Kaloleni and a few in Kwale County. And we are also moving forward to Magarini and Malindi North, Kilifi North and Malindi, and the response is good. We have farmers who are already on the agribusiness of cassava, but you want them to do it in a larger scale. That's why we are also looking for the financial support from the financial institutions, which is all underway. Yeah.
Now, just take us back. When did you first? When did you start engaging these cassava farmers, and how has it been? Are there some that already have benefited from the market you are trying to provide for their product?
Yeah, as early as last 2024, because after getting it, cassava takes about 8 to 10 months to be ready, or 12 months. So when I got this concept on November 2023, myself, I started with about 3 acres to plant the cassava so that it can be like a demonstration farm.
Yes.
So I brought in farmers to see how it is done, the planting procedure of spacing of 1 meter, so that 1 acre it can accommodate 4,000 cuttings. In that process, when a farmer gets 4,000 cuttings from 1 acre,
yes,
then with a good harvest, you have one cutting mature, it can give you 10 to 15 kg. So you just work it out for 4,000 cuttings at 10 kg per mature cassava.
Okay.
So that one gives you about 40,000 kg, or if you go less, 35,000 kg from 1 acre.
Okay.
So it's a win-win situation, because when I go through this and we worked out, the farmer needs about 50,000 to manage the 8 months from clearing the bush, planting and harvesting. You need about 50,000. So it's a bit tricky, because our farmers are not all that well financially stable. But the ones we have started with, we harvested some in the month of October last year and December, and it was a good harvest for them. And right now they started with the 1 acre, now they have moved to 3 acres, because what they got was substantial. If you work it out with the pricing I'm paying, and an acre you got 35,000 kg, you can be able to sustain it, because the 1 acre will give you cuttings of 4 acres after harvesting your tubers. They cut in the cuttings will get from 1 acre.
Yes.
From the 1 acre you have planted 4,000 cuttings, it will give you 4 acres output.
Okay.
Yeah. Outcome for 4 acres.
Okay. Now, maybe tell us the possible challenges that are there, because maybe there's the issue about drought. How are you trying to make sure that this program continues despite maybe the harsh climatic condition? You know, there's the issue with the climate change. Currently it's very drought, sometimes rain season. Just give us an overview, maybe taking an example of the Kaloleni Sub County. Maybe how is the soil texture? How is it growing cassava here in Kaloleni, other than maybe in the other regions you have seen?
Yeah, Kaloleni, there are two things that we should also check on that. Cassava is a drought resistant, first of all. When you plant it, let's say on the month of December, when you have these short rains, yeah, then maybe you get another short rain on the month of March and April, cassava will sustain. Because I tried it myself. I planted my cassava in last December. Then by the month of September, October, I harvested. And okay, between that time of January, February, there was a dry span. Yeah, then we had a short rain on April and May. So that short rain of April and May was it gives an available opportunity also farmers to plant during that time. Now, when you planted on June, July, then we have a span of dry, August, September, October, November, then some short rain starts. So with that span of 8 months, cassava is a drought resistant crop. It keeps, it's not like maize. Okay. It sustains itself from that.
So you have said that maybe you just give us an overview on maybe how the farmers benefit through the sale of their tubers, the cassava tubers. If we go, maybe how do they benefit? Give us also the market rate at the moment, how cassava is trading at the moment, and how are they benefiting from this initiative?
Yeah, for sure the farmers are benefiting, because you will have two products.
Yes.
You will have the tubers, which we are buying it,
Okay.
to process the dry chippings. Then you will also sell the cuttings. As I've told you, 1 acre will give you cuttings of 4 acres. Yeah, and if you have the 4,000 cuttings you have planted, they can give you about 4 acres cuttings, and we are buying cuttings at a given price, which is not less than 15,000 for 1 acre.
Okay.
Cuttings. If I buy from a farmer, it's not less than 15,000.
Okay.
So if you have 1 acre and it gives you cuttings for 4 acres, definitely you will have about 60,000. And now, since we have got a big market, and what we are looking for is to sustain it. Right now, I'm in a campaign of mobilizing farmers to plant 20,000 acres. We're in a campaign of farmers to plant 20,000 acres of cassava. How many acres do you manage as a farmer? Because if I register 3,000 farmers and each of them has 3 acres, still have not achieved the 20,000 acres. And this is a very big market coming up. By June, July, that process will be undergoing, because we shall be required 500 tons per day, which means I'll have to harvest 25 acres in a day. Okay. That's why we are moving around to get support from financial institutions to help our farmers. On the benefit here, they're getting the farmers.
Yes, that's
when I buy your tubers in wet process, I buy it in a kg, in a form of kilograms. Yeah, because the market, which we have studied and found it good for us, 1 acre can give you about 200,000 shillings if the production comes very well. And imagine you have spent 50,000 for clearing the bush, planting and whatever, and you get 200,000 acres from 1 acre. Okay. That's an achievement. The soil we have, especially in Kilifi County, it's like we call it a sand soil. It's not a clay soil. like the up country clay soil, or what we call this Ngamani type of soil.
Yes.
Most of this soil in Kilifi, they are the loose soil, red loose soil.
Red loose, yeah.
Which when you plow it with a tractor, you go 1 foot deep. You are creating an opportunity of a cassava to grow well.
Okay.
Yeah, so the soil in Kilifi County is suitable for cassava, not for maize. Because if you go for maize, 1 acre, you use a lot of inputs to sustain that maize. And when it comes the dry spine, maize you are losing. But cassava, you will again. When I take you around with the farms, you see how the cassava is behaving, and next to the farmer who has planted maize, at the same time I planted cassava.
Yeah, definitely. I was in some of these farms, and I saw exactly what the farmers are doing, and it's very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
Now, maybe according to your data, what's your target? Because in coast we have 6 counties.
Yeah.
We have Lamu, we have Tana River, we have Kilifi, we have Kwale, Mombasa, Taita Taveta. How do you plan to make sure that maybe your organization gets to meet these farmers and make them maybe understand about this product and make them even grow as you target the market you are targeting?
Yeah, currently I'm very much in Kilifi County, but I've been also to Kwale, Shimba Hills. I've also met farmers there. I have my team of farmers from that side. I've got visitors from Lamu who are also interested to come in for this project. But currently I'm targeting the 20,000 acres within Kilifi. Yeah, but what happens when we are targeting this 20,000 acres, maybe it might not be enough, because they need to plant alternatively on a spacing of 3 months. In every rain season they must plant. So that this harvesting should be continuous. Yeah. So if you are targeting 500 tons of wet cassava, that is let's say 20 acres in a day. For how do you run it for a year? It means that you should alternate the farmers. If it takes 12 months, it takes 8 months. The type of cassava which we are planting, the Dajirika type of cassava, the other varieties take 12 months. There are other varieties also take 7 months. So you need to plant them in an alternative way, that you should not have plant to stop because you don't have the cassava supply. So right now we are looking forward also to open an office in Malindi, so that we can be able to reach farmers in Adukamala, Magarini, those Marafa areas where the farmers are very active on this planting of pineapples. I think they can also be very active on the planting of cassava.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds very, very good. Maybe you take us through what are the mechanisms that you have been using as an organization to make sure that these farmers maybe get the right message and also practice cassava growing. And have you maybe faced any resistance from the farmers in terms of maybe accepting this idea? Just give us the overview of the situation on the ground as you go around visiting these farmers.
Yeah, and mostly I use the public gatherings. I use the sub-county agricultural officers meetings. I used chiefs, barazas, and I took an initiative to have a demo farm in my place, where I planted 1 acre specifically for the farmers to come and see how it works. And the message they got, it was very positive for them. And those who came all the way from Kwale, those who came all the way from Lamu, they took it positively. And up to now, they're also recruiting their fellow farmers. It's last week when I got farmers from up country, visited my office. They had it through the word of mouth, and I've been trying to put it on some of the social medias. So they decided to come here in my office, and the response was good, because they have about 500 acres near. Those people are neighbors. They have bought a place, 500 acres. Now they are saying that they want to clear that bush and plant cassava. So most of the communication I use is the chief barazas, sub-county agriculture officers meetings, and the social gatherings, like when I'm invited in a gathering of Harusi, Matanga, I give out this information.
Okay.
To them.
So maybe so far, how many farmers have you registered and your targeted number of farmers? And also you tell us about the target, the market you are aiming. Have you already identified the market?
Yeah.
Is it abroad? Is it within Kenya? Overseas? Just give us an overview of that.
Yeah, so far I've registered about 1,500 farmers. Yeah, and that's why I'm taking this number to the banks, which are ready to provide us with the support. Yeah, so with the issue of membership registration is quite very responsive. Yeah, we have got self-help groups, we have church groups, we have CBOs who wanted to come in to join this farming program. If you get a self-help group, they have 15 members and they want to go for 10 acres. Yeah, what it is for me to look for the cuttings for them so that they can plant it, because for their table banking they are able to sustain to pay for the tractor. Within the group they can plant for themselves. It's just a matter of sending my officers to be with them to show them how to plant it. And then for the other groups which they need big farms to clear and plant, we are trying to put them in the financial institutions, which we are now, and it's underway. We have already identified a service provider who is ready to be financed. He takes the opportunity to clear the bush. Yeah. After clearing the bush, he'll do the plowing, he'll do all the things, then he'll bring in the cassava cuttings for the team to plant. So what it means is for this service provider and the bank to wait for 12 or 10 months. When these farmers they harvest, they pay back their loan. Then the rest of the money is for their farmers. It's for the farmers, and mind you, they must have produced enough cuttings to invest for more planting.
Okay. Maybe are there any other institutions that you are working together apart from the financial institutions that you are trying to connect them to farmers? Maybe are there any institutions, maybe like the county devolved government, or any other NGOs that maybe you are working together to realize this dream? Are there any other entities that you are trying to work together or trying to reach to them as an organization to make sure that maybe they assist or they come in for this program?
Yeah, most of them are these agricultural institutions which they come in to help farmers, maybe with the seeds, fertilizer. Then during those meetings we introduced this cassava project. They also now started to encourage their farmers who have been doing maize planting now to also practice cassava planting. So the organizations mostly, it's like just maybe working with the sub-county agriculture officers through the county government's officials. That's where we are trying to reach them, but mostly on the ground we are using this like Cassava Kenya. We are using like the Plant Village and the other groups which they organize members on a certain goal. Then they also bring them in for the cassava planting exercise.
Okay, viewers, that was Mr. Kaingu giving us an overview of what the organization, what his organization is actually doing to make sure that they assist cassava farmers to know their potential in the growth of this important crop. Remember, we are in Kaloleni at the FAGIO ZETU offices. Now, I think Mr. Kaingu, maybe, I don't know whether we can have just maybe 1, 2, 3 minutes to visit. Is your model farm just near where you have the...
Yeah, I have a model farm is just near there.
Yeah.
I've got also a site where I dried the cassava, dried.
Yes.
You can also see it.
Yeah.
It was chopped and dried.
Yeah.
And then we can go to the model farm and see.
Asante sana mtazamaji, so wacha tuzunguke kidogo. Mr. Kaingo atatuonyesha vile vifaa ambavyo anatumia kuhakikisha kwamba analeta ile value chain katika zao hili la mhogo hapa katika kaunti ya Kilifi. Ofisi zao ziko hapa mjini Kaloleni. Kwa hiyo tutaondoka sasa hivi, lakini tuandamane nami tukienda tukiangalia baadhi ya zile pembejeo ama vifaa ambavyo wanatumia kuhakikisha kwamba mihogo inatayarishwa, kwa sababu there are so many value chains in as far as cassava is concerned, and we know that cassava is one of the drought resistant crops, and with the climate change issues affecting the global, affecting the world, then we know at least there is a solution for that. So viewers, join me as we go around for checking on the situation at Mr. Kaingo's farm.
This is the chopping machine where we chop our tubers before we take them for drying on our sites. So we usually use this machine. It's a motorized machine connected with the power, electric power. So we just put our tubers in, then it is chopped like a scrip. Then from here we take it to our drying yard before we take it to the buyer. So for drying it takes about 2-3 days, up to an extent that the cassava should have 12% moisture content and 3% dust content. But this is the chopping machine. This is one of the machines we have in our office, though we have others in our other stations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this also given to the farmers? Are farmers empowered maybe to have such kind of machines, or just fund at the organization?
Yeah, most of the farmers are in interior, and this is a machine which can be a bit risky and electrified. So we need trained people, especially within the office area where we can use it. That's why we bring all the harvested cassava to this place, chop it here. But for those who are organized farmers with big acreages, we can organize with this machine, take it to their site, dry their product there before we take it to the buyer. Yeah.
Tell us about its capacity. How many maybe tons can it process of cassava? How many kilograms?
Yeah, this one it works in it has a capacity of chopping 1 ton within 1 hour. Yeah. Yeah.
So it actually fits with
the farmers. We can have up to 4 to 5 machines running continuously. It's not the only one we have. We have several of them, but some are in other stations where we can also use them. When we have a big demand, we bring them all here to operate them here. Yeah.
Viewers, now we are heading to drying site. Yeah. So tunaenda hapo mahali ambapo wanakausha hii mihogo, tuone pia ni kitu gani huwa kinafanyika upande ule. Kwa hiyo endelea kuandamana nami as we head towards that area. So.
Yard.
Okay, so viewers, now we have come to the drying yard, and we want Mr. Daniel to explain to us what actually happens here, what product is brought here, and what happens here. After here, the next step. So he will take us through.
Yeah, this is our open drying yard where we put our biodiesel chopped cassava to dry it here before we take it for the buyer. But as you are seeing, you can see some open holes. This is supposed to be covered with a polythene to be a full dryer with a solar panel. So when we come to that solar panel dryer, we shall now be starting producing products for consumption. But for now, we are using this open yard for the biodiesel drying cassava. But in future, as we are moving on, we shall cover this place to have a solar dryer. A solar dryer, we shall be having chances to dry even maize. We shall have chances to dry beans. We shall have chances to dry cassava for the consumption. But for now, this one is not for consumption. As you can see, we chopped it. We chopped it without peeling the cover. The way you can see, we still have a cover on it. So this one goes direct for the biodiesel production. But when we want to use it for the consumption, we shall peel off the cover of the cassava, then dry it and put it to the millers.
Maybe you explain to our viewers, what do you mean by biodiesel product? Because maybe people will not understand this.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is going to be, it's going to be used as an ethanol production for the buyer. What he told us, this one is going to be used for biodiesel or an ethanol production. I think it's for the issue of environmental pollution matters. That's why they come up with another type of fuel from the cassava. Though we used to know that cassava is for consumption, but for the market, they can also use it to produce ethanol and biodiesel. Yeah, for running machines.
Now, what happens after here? Is after it has been dried, do you now pack it and then?
Yeah, after here, when we have dried it,
or it is crushed again?
No, we don't crush it. When it is dry, we just pack it in the sacks of 50 kg, waiting to get at least 1,000 kg. Then we supply to the buyer. So we keep on drying until when we get a good stock of 1,000 kg, then we take it for the buyer. Okay. Yeah. So we keep on buying, chopping, drying, buying, chopping, drying, and put it on the 50 kg sacks until when we get about 1,000 kg, then we take it to the supplier, to the buyer.
How does it sell? Have you agreed with the market rate?
Yeah, we have agreed on the market rate.
Yeah.
We are buying it weight from the farmers at a given price, and we also after drying, because you know when I buy 300 kg, when I dry it, it will come to around 200, so I'll use about 100 kg. So we have a specific pricing for that, so that I could recover for the labor which I'll have to pay for my boys. I'll have to recover what I can use to pay for the power, for using the power. I should also recover for the transportation from the shamba to my yard. Yeah.
Okay. Is this the first product, or you have already done a number of them?
We have already done a number of them, and we have already supplied, and it's a continuous process. Yeah.
How is the process? Is it good?
Yeah, the processes are good. The processes are good, and on top of that, the buyer came up with another strategy of producing starch. That's where maybe in the near future we might switch from this to starch. Yeah.
Viewers, now here is where we end our show for today. It's my pleasure that you have been watching, and continue to subscribe to our channel, the Untold Farming Segment. Remember, we were shooting this episode today here in Kaloleni Sub County, Kilifi County. Remember to catch up again next week for another episode, because there are so many episodes we are still working on around here in Kaloleni. So viewers, asanteni sana kwa kututazama, na muendelee kusubscribe. Sitachoka kuambia, kwa sababu the more you subscribe, the more you make this channel grow, and the more you assist even many other farmers to know what is happening around the world. Asanteni sana. See you next week for another episode. My name is Kazum Samuel.